Hey, greetings and welcome back, relationship schoolers. What's going on? Jason Gaddis here, your host of this podcast. Hey, everybody that came out to Salt Lake City, what's up? Thanks, all y'all. That was awesome. My hometown, we'll do that again sometime. And thanks, Vitalize Yoga Studio, for hosting. That was cool. And thanks again for all the deeper students who just joined this incredible journey. We're on a long ride together, 9 months. We had an incredible live event, tons of transformation. You guys rock. Thank you. All right, this podcast is about long-term relationships. It's about work relationships, family relationships, relationships with people you don't like. This is a relationship-centric podcast. I think this is such useful information, guys, because it's the thread that, weaves our life together, all of our connections with other people. It's pretty powerful. And if you put attention on this part of your life, I think you're going to see that your life takes on new meaning and purpose and power, really. If, on the other hand, you expect sort of not much out of your relationships and you just sort of think they're just kind of hard and stuff, and you have lots of Facebook friends, you don't go deep, that's a whole different thing. You guys are missing out, okay, if that's you. Welcome back if you are returning, and welcome if you're new. Yeah. A quick iTunes Apple Podcast review from Kaylee. Thanks, Kaylee. Kaylee says, this podcast has seen me through the ups and downs of being in long-term partnership and has always left me feeling empowered with choice, responsibility, and a deeper connection with myself. Yeah. Jason interviews leading experts and visionaries on what healthy relationships look like and how to achieve it. Always love the action steps at the end of every episode. Highly recommend this to anyone and everyone, since relationships the core of our life. Thanks, Kaylee. What's up? I so agree with you. Nice. You can always leave us a 5-star review if you feel inspired. If that's your truth, just on your phone, just scroll down with your thumb. Okay, it's very, very easy. We're approaching 600. It would be amazing to get 600 awesome reviews from y'all. If you haven't done that, I challenge you to do that. Thanks. Okay, in this episode, it's a short one, just me here. I'm going to talk about expectations, okay? The next 2 episodes are going to be about expectations. This one is about, is it okay to have expectations in relationships? I get this question a lot, so I'm answering some of your questions here. And then the next episode is about, when do expectations start to turn into unrealistic expectations that are unhelpful, that create more of a wedge between us, etc. Okay, so hopefully these are useful for you. I think they're going to be ones you come back to when you and a future partner, for example, talk about expectations. Okay, all right, nice. So let's go over 6. I think probably the top 6 expectations that I think are fair and reasonable. Before we dive into all 6, though, it is important to remember that whenever we create an expectation, we are making a lot of room for a resentment to be born. I say this a lot, learned this from one of my mentors, that a lot of the roots of our resentments are expectations that are unrealistic, put on other people. For example, a lot of us might have an expectation that our parents parented us differently when we were little kids. That expectation is called a fantasy in my world. And so long as you keep expecting your parents to behave a certain way, you're going to be frustrated. I'll talk about that in the next episode, all right? So I'm just priming this that, yeah, we got to enter into expectations gently and with some care here, because this one can spiral out pretty fast. Also, I'm reminded of a quote by Tony Robbins, something to the effect of, he talks about the distinction between expectations versus appreciation. Appreciation being like just loving someone as they are, and expectations is, hey, you need to behave like I want you to, right? So it's not really a quote, actually. It's just a concept. So just a reminder there. Okay, let's dive into all 6. All right, number 1, an expectation that I think in my own relationship that I have that feels totally fine and good with me is that things are fair. Now, that means my wife does certain things in our life, and I do certain things, and it feels fair. When we fight, disagree, argue, or there's silence or whatever, distance between us, we approach the resolution of that in a fair way, okay? She pulls her weight, I pull my weight. We both are schlepping together on this journey called life, and raising two amazing kids, we want things to be fair. If things start to feel unfair, one of us will probably resent the other person. And then we have a fight or a talk about it, okay? So fairness, big, big, big one. All right, second expectation that I think is very reasonable is that the other person behave in a way that helps you feel emotionally safe. Now, it goes without saying to me that you should feel physically safe in a relationship with someone, but I'm talking about emotional safety. So I want and expect my wife to behave in a way that I feel emotionally safe to continue to deepen in our relationship, to have sex, to connect on so many levels, to feel good in my own body. All right. And yes, I have a part in that. My history is here, and there's some things from my history that maybe aren't safe that I have to navigate inside myself. So I can't put that all on her, but I am saying I expect you to behave in a emotionally safe way. So that looks like not raising your voice to the point of me getting really freaked out. That means behaving in a way that my nervous system just feels good to be around, honestly. Yeah, she's not rude, disrespectful. And when she is, she'll clean it up if that does happen, that kind of thing. Okay, so number 2, you can expect, if you want, a partner to behave in a way that has you feel emotionally safe. Now, again, got to be careful with this one because at times they're going to behave in ways that don't promote some kind of emotional safety. But we're talking about like 80% of the time, all right? 80% of the time they do a good job being your friend and ally. Okay, number 3, these are all sort of tied together. The third expectation that I expect in my marriage, and you can, consider this one, is they show you respect. Okay, I do expect my wife to respect me. And if for whatever reason she doesn't, we're going to have a conversation about it. Let's say I'm in a shame pile and I lost my job and I am just miserable, and she starts to lose respect for me. Chances are I probably also have lost respect for myself, and that's okay because I need to use that as fuel to get my shit together and to go out and be like, okay, I'm having a really hard time. And so I want to behave in a way that promotes that she does respect. Now, if I behave in a way that's disrespectful to myself or others, she might not respect me. So again, you gotta look at this in a number of ways. But I think it's really a fair expectation to have of other people in your life that they respect you. But you got to be bringing self-respect to the table also, all right? Nice. Okay, fourth expectation that I think is reasonable is they pull their weight, meaning it's mutual. I said this earlier. If you and I are on a boat, I often use this metaphor, and we're out paddling in this crazy ocean, we both need to be paddling or taking turns. We both contribute to the journey. We both fix the leaks in the boat. We both, maybe she has a specialty in certain things on the boat and I have a specialty in, let's say, cooking, and she's got a specialty in dealing with the kids, or vice versa. We divide and conquer, but it feels mutual. It's the feeling of mutual. So as I said at the deeper event, it has nothing to do with equal. Okay, mutual is different than equal. Like, we earn the exact amount of money. We cook the exact amount. We trade off meals. You raise the kids half the time. I raise the kids half the time. That's called equal. We're not talking about that. We're talking about mutual. And so in many partnerships, they divide and conquer different tasks and things that they have to do. And that's totally fine as long as it feels mutual. Okay. Another expectation that I think is reasonable, right? Okay, number 5, the fifth expectation I think is reasonable is when things get hard, you guys, you both can expect each other to work through it, to get help if you need it, to learn like students. What's the problem? What's the problem with me? What's the problem with you? Let's figure this out together. I think that's a very fair expectation that we solve our problems between us that are about us together. You know, you might solve some problems in your life on your own. I don't have to solve all your problems, just like you don't have to solve all my problems. But sometimes when it comes to our relationship, or often, we want to be a team tackling our problems together. I think that's very reasonable to expect your partner to come to the table again, meeting you halfway and saying, let's figure this out. This fight, this distance, this silence, our finances, the kids, the drama, whatever it is, it's causing a rift between us. Let's be a team. I think that's extremely, extremely reasonable, right? Okay, sixth expectation is that they actually put in work to try to understand you and know who you are. They have a genuine desire to know where you come from, why you act the way you do, what your hobbies are, what your love is and passions are, what your values are, keeps you up at night. They make an effort to learn about you. I think that's a very reasonable expectation to have. It's always amazing to me how many people stay in relationships where their partner doesn't know them or they don't feel known by their partner. That sucks, guys. I think my partner should be my best friend and know me extremely well. Ellen knows me better than anybody in my life. And I have a few people that are very close, but not like Ellen, okay? Now, this gets into where we start tipping the edge into unrealistic expectations, which I'll talk about here in the next episode, so just stay tuned for that. All right. So again, a reminder here as we wind down that it's okay to have expectations, contrary to some kind of spiritual people or personal growth people will actually tell you to never have expectations of people. You should just expect them to just do what they want in life and live according to their values. That's okay. That's one. I have a mentor who says that, but I disagree. I think in a partnership, just like if you and I were business partnerships, there would be expectations. You pull your weight, I pull mine. You do things, you don't, you get fired. You lose. Like we go to an attorney and we say, this doesn't work anymore because I will not partner with someone who's not pulling their weight. So also watch those teachers or teachings out there that say you shouldn't expect anything of anyone. I think that's bullshit when it comes to a partnership or raising kids. I just think it's a dodge. It's simplistic. On the other end of the spectrum, we have people maybe in fundamentalist type relationships that are like, I expect you to wear this, look like that. You know, we have the other extreme, which I'll talk about in the next episode. All right. Okay. Write down, here's your action step. Write down what you think your realistic, reasonable expectations are of your future partner, of your current partner, and then also write down what you can say yes to. If your partner expected these of you, could you get behind them and say yes? Yeah, that makes sense. I can do that. I can get on board with that. And if not, then you've got a talking point to discuss together, right? So the action step is to go both ways and try these expectations on for others and being on the receiving end of these expectations. Okay, just try it on. And then finally, as always, in the action step, talk about this, share this with one other person in your life. It could be a friend or a partner or someone close to you. Ideally, it's someone who listened to this episode and said, yeah, let's sit down and deal with these expectations. Great. And then finally, sometimes our expectations can turn into agreements, by the way. Okay, I'll probably do a separate podcast on that. Agreements are a more explicit, even expectation than we're talking about here. Like if you wanted to write all these down and post them on your fridge, they could be agreements. All right. But I think I want to start with expectations here. Okay. Okay. As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to join our free community that keeps growing, go to relationshipschool.com/community, and you'll find hundreds and hundreds of people who are in this conversation that want to have awesome relationships. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Talk soon. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Relationship School fans and Smart Couple listeners, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, all right? Do us a favor, subscribe, share one of these videos with a friend, all right? We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.